Good evening, Madam Chair and Board. I'm really excited to present to you today one of my favorite topics, which is instruction. So the third lesson learned for us coming out of the spring is that teaching and learning in both a virtual and distance environment must be meaningful, engaging, and accompanied by accountability. And as you know, we had to change dramatically how we taught and learned in the spring. And our teachers and school administrators, our coaches, and content coordinators did a yeoman's job to make that happen. But we also know that we can learn and improve, as I've discussed before with you when we discussed reentry. So there were four kind of themes that came out of the data when we studied instruction in particular. And the areas of growth for us this coming year, or this year, we're finally here, are providing meaningful and relevant learning experiences for all students. We also wanted to make sure that we were providing meaningful accountability and feedback for learning, that we were committing to consistent and clear expectations for all stakeholders, and that we were implementing a flexible and a resilient instructional model that could go between face-to-face, hybrid, and virtual back and forth. So, as you know, that takes a little bit of work because we're continuing to adjust and learn how to do this. So, for us, the way we decided to respond was to provide a number of supports and conditions for teachers and students. And one of those in particular is providing deeper instruction. And we define that as learning experiences that are challenging, engaging, and empowering for all students. To make that happen, our professional learning communities at the school level and the district level have been identifying essential learning and priority standards. They're aligning summative unit assessments to those priority standards. And now PLCs are working to collaborate around formative practice and assessments and aligning those to the work they've done this summer. To make that happen, we are also looking at engaging and being responsive to student need, and we're doing that through committing to the workshop model or the student engagement model, which is what we've always used as our instructional model in classrooms. We're also intentionally developing the whole child by focusing on supporting our power skills and social emotional skills alongside academics. To make that happen, though, it takes a lot of professional learning and collaboration at the school level. So we are doing some intentional work around implementing the workshop model in a virtual environment, as well as face-to-face. We're also working with schools to provide support around frequent formative feedback to monitor academic progress. We're looking at how to support teachers in building classroom community in a virtual space that's brand new for them, as well as how to manage virtual classrooms with things like routines and norms and celebrations. And then thinking through how to structure advocacy time to support power skills and social emotional skills like self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, and relationship skills. To empower students and to engage them this year, we are also doing things like supplementing their instruction with print text, children's books, and other manipulatives when they're at home with e-learning. We're providing clear calendars and schedules, as well as routines on how they engage in synchronous and asynchronous learning. And teachers are providing ongoing communication to parents about progress on student work. So let's dig into that one a little bit, because if you remember, one of the lessons learned is around providing feedback to parents around expectations. So students will still receive grades this year and will get progress reports on their learning experiences throughout the year. And like they do every year, schools will be communicating how that will look to families this year. In general, our focus at the district level and the support that we'll be providing to them is thinking about how to provide quality formative feedback in both formal and informal settings. So this growth-based feedback will tell students, families, and teachers exactly where students are in the moment, which is important because we haven't seen them since March. We'll know exactly where they're strong in terms of content. We'll also know where they need support in order to grow. The key to that feedback, though, is that it's frequent, ongoing, and descriptive. And so that will help teachers and caretakers to know how to help children to self-reflect on what they know, as well as to help them goal set on how to get better. So that's a little bit about instruction. And now I'm handing it over to my friend Howard.